Hello, welcome back to episode 10 of the Misfortune. Where we left off, Breglor found two dead goblins, most likely the same ones that we encountered earlier. So, he was on his way to the town of Bellhop. Upon traveling rather some peaceful passes and fields, he ran into these two dead griffins and a wolf, a dead wolf. But the griffins both had arrows shot in the back of their heads, which led to the discovery of a landowner, a female character named Xena, aptly named, older lady, common clothes. So that's where we left off. We saw her, we first heard something. It was the pulling of a bow, and she pretty much has us locked in. So we're trying to find out if she's going to fire, if she's going to shoot the bow, or let us leave. So she was asking us what we were doing on her land, and we left off. So, was questioning why we were here, why we are on her land. FYI, I'm going to start talking from our perspective. I seem to be doing that more often than referring to Breglor in third person. So when I say we, I'm talking about us playing the character. That's just how I'm going to roll with it. So I'm no reason really to fight at this point. I can't seem to break that habit. But let's begin episode 10. Okay, so she's asking why we're there. We have our hands up, and she is perhaps a little further up the field on a hilltop, so obvious advantage. She has the arrow aimed at us. We're not going to question her experience because she was able to take out two griffins, but on her own, most likely, with precise precision, with precise accuracy on the back of their heads, most likely when they were attacking or eating on the wolf's corpse, or they killed the wolf and they're eating on it. First, the griffin was struck with the arrows, then the brother, the sibling griffin, may perhaps ran after her or ran in fear, etc., got shot, collapsed a little further away from that little river we found. So right now we have to find out. We have to speak to her most likely. Let's roll to see what her current impression of us is. We are a random stranger on her land after she just killed two griffins. So let's roll one of the dice that has the different expressions on it. She's welcoming, apparently. Maybe she's perhaps, when she had her bow pulled on us and we turned around and looked, we are perhaps have a very welcoming appearance. We're not really dressed like bandits, but we're dressed in casual common clothing. But I'd say this welcoming disposition, this welcoming attitude is perhaps a farce. So when she sees us, she seems like she's taunting us. She's welcoming, but and she smiles, and we have our suspicions. So if that's the case, let's roll a will check if we can indeed question her impression on us, which would help us figure out the best course of action to take to not get shot with an arrow straight to the head. So 9, we are successful in rolling below the will. So because of that, we are able to determine and perceive that she is simply putting on a face. So we doubt her, I'd say, her impression of us. Her impression. Now, does she? Let's roll some. We'll get some 2d6 ready here. Now, with her bow pulled and she's looking straight at us, and we slowly, I'm going to say we slowly lower our hands and tell her, do we look like Griffin? Do we look like a Griffin to you? So we basically sarcastically say, do we look like, or I should say, do I look like, he doesn't have multi-personality disorder, do I look like a Griffin to you? And let's see what, we're putting some humor in the situation, slowly lowering hands. She would either tell us to, nope, keep those hands up, or she'll react differently. Let's see. Interested. Okay, that does seem possible. So I'm gonna say, does she lower her? Let's see if she lowers her bow. I'm gonna keep an advantage on yes on that one. Does she lower the bow? She does. So, well, if I'm choosing for advantage, see, there's two methods to my d6 rolls here. Either total the two, or choose the highest of the one. But we obviously rolled no, so that's for advantage. I'm gonna keep it as it is. She does not lower her bow. Now she's going to ask us again, why are you on my land? And I'm going to say, or we are going to say, she asks again, why we are here. She's obviously protecting something. She's very, because now let's see, let's roll to see some details on the visual. Was there most likely a fence around her land? Yeah, there was. So 5 over 3. There was a fence over her land, but we can lie. So let's try to lie about that. So we'll do a lie. I'm thinking if we just tell her where we're going, perhaps it will change her mind on the current situation. But 13, so we got to roll 13 or under. We rolled a 13 exactly. So we basically are barely able to lie. So lie 13. Sorry about that. Sorry, looks I I must have let's say must have went off let's see off the trail, off the path. Couldn't help but notice the two griffins that I was, maybe we'll reveal that he was dealing with them earlier, that I bout with earlier. So sorry, I must have went off the path. I couldn't help but notice the two griffins that I bout with earlier. So in revealing that detail that we dealt with these griffins before, these pair of griffins, I'm going to say that she is responding in the fall order. That is interesting. So if I'm pronouncing that right, available, available. She is easy to persuade. She basically is convinced of our story, convinced of our situation. So let's roll again to see if she does lower the bow this time. I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong d6. There we go. Yep, she lowers her bow to 6 high. She lowers the bow. I should say just lowers her bow. It's really intriguing who this lady is now at this point. Former adventurer or ranger. Now does she okay, so she lowers her bow. That's obvious. Shows she's basically believing us now. She said, let's see, she says that I'm wondering if I can figure out the current weather situation. One second, let me just roll for weather. Okay, it's really bright out, so the storm is still. Oh, that's right. We still have the bird. So she lowers her bow. Um, weather. I was curious about the weather at this point because we haven't checked on it for some time. It's bright, sunny, clear. Now the bird. Remember that magical bird the magician from Misfits cast on us? I don't believe. Are we aware of the bird? I don't think we are. That's a small detail I forgot to mention. All right, is that bird still following us? It's not. So something happened to that bird. Uh, the let's call it the tracer. That's the nickname for it. The tracer is not following our trail. So let me add that character name essentially at this point to the list of more so the scene quest, the quake, got to pay. So the bird is called the tracer. It's just a magically bestowed bird. Perhaps it's just a pure form of energy, or it's just it's a magical spell that takes the form of a bird and follows a target up in higher up in the atmosphere. So the bird. Um, Interesting. So the tracer lost track of us, lost track due to the storms. So while we're talking to this lady, to Xena, um, she lowers her bow and she takes a deep breath. Because we convince her, she basically says, sorry. Let's see. She replies, sorry. Let me sharpen my pencil a bit. She says, sorry, but these areas have got worse in recent years. So now she lowers her bow, and let's see. We said that went off the path. We did roll that there was a fence. I'll just say we missed her fence, but we're not really going to mention that right now. So let's go to the next page. So she's kind of giving a personal detail about the land situation, and it's just been a little worse. There's been these obviously griffins walking around. Um, I'm going to ask her. I don't think this will require a check of sorts, but it will require a roll to see if she replies. I'm going to ask her. I'm going to tell her that we think that I think these griffins came from a cave nearby. So we'll tell her the origin cave of the griffins. Just kind of casually mention it. Maybe she just makes her more aware of it, or let's see how she reacts to that. I'm gonna roll the emotion available. She's okay. So I rolled available, which isn't really too surprising. I think because she lives here, she knew, she knows of this. It's not new news to her. She knows of this, and I think Griffin. I think Reglor can see that. He he says, and I see you already knew that. So no new information. Now, while we're chatting, let's roll to see if something happens. I want to give it a little advantage this one. Two, something very minor happens. Let's figure out what that minor is. Perhaps it's going to be. Let's roll for event. Encounter. Oh, interesting. Encounter difficulty innocent. So we encounter something very innocent comes up. And what would that innocent be? Let's see. Encounter. While we're chatting, so it kind of interrupts our little conversation. Innocent. Oh, you know what? I thought of something potentially. Now, okay. Is it a monster? Let's put a no advantage on no for this one. I don't think a monster is gonna pop out of nowhere. Is it a monster? It's not. Okay. Now, is it going to be a animal? Let's put an advantage in here for yes. Is it an animal? Oh, okay. I rolled fours all the way. Let me re-roll for that. Is it an animal? It is. Okay, it's definitely an animal. So 3 to 6. All right. Is it going to be? Is it a four-legged creature? It's not. I wonder if no, no, that doesn't seem right. I'm gonna re-roll that. I think we're gonna stop there. We're not gonna roll the specifics of the creature. I'm gonna say it is a it's a dog. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a counter, but it is her dog. It's her dog, and it's like what do you call those really intelligent dogs that herd sheep? If it comes to me, they have like black and white fur. They're very fast. I remember the dogs, the breed. Um, Collie. Oh, if I think of it, I'll remember, but I just don't recall right now. So she has like this dog that helps from the farm. It runs up to now. Does it run up to us? It does run up to us. Okay, her dog runs here, runs up to us, and is it it's innocent. We already know it's friendly. Now let's see here. Deadly. No. Yeah, I'm assuming it's still friendly. So her dog runs up to us, starts sniffing our feet. So sniffs our like shoes. It's just this little friendly dog walks up to us, and we're just kind of looking at it. I'm going to ask her if we can pet it. Uh, can I pet the dog? We gotta pet the dog. There's a dog in a either whether it's RPG or video game, you always pet the dog. And let's see what she said. Let's we can roll to see if she lets us pet it or her reaction to what we ask her for. Miserable. Let me roll it again because I think that was on its side. Uh, Uninterested. I don't think she really cares. Is it her dog though? Maybe we're assuming it's her dog. So she doesn't really seem to care for some reason. She doesn't seem to care. Now we're going to ask her, "Is this your dog?" So it's just a random dog that shows up, what runs up to and starts sniffing our feet. Now the dog itself is it an old dog? It's not. It's a younger dog. Okay, so that kind of leads me to think that uh, because I'm thinking she's an older lady, she has an older dog. So it's not. It's a younger pup. Maybe it's a puppy or is it a puppy? Let's figure that out. Is it a puppy? It is. Yeah, it's a younger dog. It's a puppy. It's a pup. It's a younger puppy. So puppy, dog, etc. Um, Now we start petting the dog because she didn't really seem to reply to us. We ask her, "Is this your dog?" We're curious right now if this is her dog. So let's just do this 50-50. Is this her dog? It is not her dog. That is baffling. Maybe it's a stray. So she just kind of shakes her head. She looks away. She shakes. No, it's not. She doesn't say that. She just shakes her head. I'm thinking at this point she's putting her bow behind her, like over her, like she's putting it on her back, like just putting it away, and she's putting her arrows away. And at this point, I think, she'll tell us to just, look. Does she tell us to just leave at this point? Kind of does. She's not, yeah, 66. So at this point, I think she sees we're not necessarily a threat to her, but she tells us while she's like slowly turning around, she does this with her hand. She's like, "Look, just get off my land and go where you gotta go. I'm busy." So she tells us to just leave while we have this dog following us. This dog sniffing our feet. Regular is going to say, "Okay." So he waves goodbye. So uh, we we wave and just casually leave. We just walk away. We walk off the land. We walk off where we see a fence. So we're walking towards the fence. Now, is the dog following us? I'm gonna do an extra blue on this one. I'm really curious if this dog will follow. If it does, then we have a pet. It does. Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe it's just hungry. I'm gonna say it's just hungry. It's slow. Like it's we're walking away from it after petting it. It's a little friendly. We turn around. Uh, the dog slowly follows, but is it hungry? Let's roll. Let's just do one modifier yes on this one. Yeah, yeah, it's hungry. 5 to 3. So we notice it's hungry. Maybe it just kind of growls a bit, or it kind of whines for food. So the dog looks hungry. Regular, I think he has a day rat. Yeah, he has 3 days rations. He's already fed from the family, Caliph family. So regular stops, feeds the dog. So we feed the dog at that point, and then let's remove 1 day ration from our 1 day worth of rations, or part of a ration. I should say. Yeah, we'll do that. We feed the dog, and I'm guessing the dog is happy for. Well, let's roll. We can always roll. I know these are human reactions, or these are where is it? These are generic reactions. Let's roll. Benevolent, perfect. That's exactly what I roll. So the dog loves us now. It's happy we fed it. We fed it. So it's I'm going to say it's going to follow us now. So we don't even have to roll for that. So I think we just adopted a dog. We just um the dog. I'm going to whistle towards it and say, "All right, let's go." Like kind of do this in my palm, in my hand. Signal dog, let's walk. So we leave with the dog. No need to roll the follows. It will follow us now. So let's give a name for the dog. I, the dog. Let's just say it's a not a German Shepherd. Let me see. Let me research what dog breed I'm trying to think about right now. I was right. I was thinking of the word collie. It's a border collie. Border collie. So dog. Oops. This is important. So we have a dog. We have a new character essentially. Dog. It's a border collie. I won't say it's a pup. I'll probably say it's maybe 2 to 3 years old. Years old. Name is now going to be. Let's see. Where can we? What name would be good for this? Spike. Spiky. Let's just. Oh, is it a boy or girl? Let's figure this out. I'm gonna say. Is it a boy? Oh, it's a girl. Okay, so it's a girl dog. It's a female dog, and let's see. Name will be Spiky or Sparky. Let's just do Sparky. Sparky. So I think I have a spot for characters now. I think I have the oh, the character list situation here somewhere. I don't see that sheet I had. Shoot. Well, I'm gonna have to add it to my oh, you know what? That's why, because I completely forgot to tell you guys about my little map issue I had. So uh spilled water on it after I was preparing for this session, and I had that cool little art. It had the tables around it. But yeah, no joke. I just completely spilled water on it. Had the dry off part of my table here. So I'm tired of like redrawing the maps because I chose to transfer it onto that Oracle system, and that was my fault. So I'm just going to do this really simple layout. It's not a visual map, or it's not a detailed map. It's just these boxes. So um, this will also have. Let's get our characters out. I need a note card for characters. Because apparently I lost that too, like an idiot. Let's see, characters slash NPCs, which that's pretty much what they are. So we have Dervish, leader of the Misfits. We have the Caliph family, which we knew the father's name was something something dark side. What was the father's name? I completely forgot about the father's name. Luckily, we are tracking character Drake. That's right. We are tracking characters of the scenes, but I'd rather have one just as a master list. Drake. So Drake. Let's see. Drake is the father. We never got the names of the mother and the son and daughter. Especially the son. I thought we were getting the name of the son with everything we went through with that little rescue scene. Unless we did, and I'm not remembering. I know that I would have written down. I did not. So, and then other characters, magician. That's right. Ruith is the other. Pretty much the only other character we run into. Belinda's the mercenary that you referenced us. Okay, so we got track. Uh, the magician. So Gruith is just a little nickname I've given him, magician. Uh, the magic user for misfits, and then there's the bird, the tracer, magic bestowed winged creature. Not necessarily a bird, but just a winged creature. Conjured by Gruith. And then we have Belinda, I think. Belinda was the mercenary we're supposed to take the package to, which we now know it's some kind of life granting item for a talking skull. Run with, let's see, deliver transport box to Temple of Legion. Um, Tracer, yeah, take two. This is Belinda. He told us about Belinda. Belinda, possibly like asterisk for a former or current love interest for Dervish, and then oops, my H's get really crazy for some reason. I don't complete the actual. There we go. Dervish, deliver recipients. There we go. Deliver recipient. So there we go. We have our characters. Okay, I am now satisfied for that. Let's get that out of the way. We know there's a couple of merchants, but they weren't really. We really didn't flesh them out, so we don't have to worry about the one merchant we met, and then the dead merchant. Oh yeah, there was the character of the. I forgot. We also have the lady, Xena, warrior princess lady. So um, Xena, we don't know how that will pan out, but she's a landowner. That's all we know really. Okay, yeah, Xena landowner. We ran into her briefly, didn't really flesh out her character that much, but I'll just keep that right there for now. So, um, okay, let's switch back to over here. And this map is only, well, map, quote unquote, visual, like from like a PowerPoint, but we're only tracking important spots of interest. So if we go to a new location, like a cave or dungeon, town of Bishop, it'll be here. And I connect them how I get there, basically. So I'm not like, this is not actually how it looks, but this is just how I got there to this location. So to go back somewhere, we have to trace our steps back. I probably should have done it like this, but either way, that's fine. Okay, so now let's get back to um, the dog. So we're back at the trail, and as we step onto the trail, we left her, Xena's land, essentially. Back at the trail. And did I even put the name for the dog? I don't think I did. I didn't. So I'm put big letters pet underline Sparky, our dog. Our dog. It's a border collie, female, about 2, 3 years old. Okay, that's all. Just a looking normal, regular looking border collie. Just kind of found it was a stray, perhaps. So we kneel down, we pet her. We're like, I'm gonna call you Sparky, and then she just kind of barks or something like that, something dog-like, whatever doggos do these days. So she barks. Okay, and then while we're back at the trail, does anything happen while we're there? So let's roll. And remember, the difference is the severity of the situation. So something does happen, and 63, it's something. Well, let's roll to see how it is. Is it a problem? Is it going to be? Let's roll this encounter. It's not an encounter. So we don't really encounter. I'll say we don't encounter a threat, but something it caught our interest. It was just good enough for us to notice. So, is it going to be a? We really have to get going too. We really, I think, Breglor, we're realizing we need to get the town of Bishop bellhop uh, to really find a place to rest, a real place to rest, like an inn, because we have gold. Five, yeah, we have 5 gold pieces. Depends if that's not actually a lot. Okay, so while the dog is with us and we're on the trail, we notice something. Now, when we notice something, it's not an encounter. Is it a physical, like, is it an external event? It is an external event, 5 to 1. I'm gonna say we feel another quake. So, um, Star, because this is very important, we feel another quake. And from earlier, if you remember, the first quake we felt, this is the second one, I track that. The first quake we felt was back at the Misfits camp when we were talking to the magician. The magician seemed to have certain lore known about this quake. Now, I think to Breglor, it's not too obvious. It's not really known. He just feels an earthquake. And these quakes, I believe 5 to 1. This quake is a little, the magnitude of it is a little more than what we had before. I think we had like 3 point something. So let's just say it was a little more severe. Definitely felt stronger than the last one. Felt worse. Was it just enough to topple him over? Let's roll a strength. I think this will be a dexterity check to see if we can not topple over, basically. It won't hurt us. I'm just saying that, like, physically, how we react to it. 15, we actually kind of stumble. 15 is barely a 1 over 14. So I'm going to say it drops to his knees. Like, we kind of stumble. It's big enough to make us stumble. So we stumble forward a little bit. Uh, Sparky barks. Does a dog thing. And then because of the quake, we're looking around like, what the hell? Now, do we see anything in the distance? I think Breglor is trying to figure out if this earthquake is coming from the mountain range. Like, is there a volcano erupting? So, like, can he see depending on it's bright out, so we know the weather is good. Now, can he see anything in the distance? Because before he was surrounded by forest, so there wasn't much potential to see what was in the distance. But now he's on the side of a trail. He's on a trail. He's in the fields, the farmland. So there's definitely mountains in the distance. Can he see anything strange? He doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. Like, he does see the mountains, but he doesn't see like a volcano erupting. So that means it's probably seismic activity. It's something underground. So doesn't see any um, volcano eruptions in the distance. Very specific, I know, but there is a volcano in my mind on the map that we don't have. So the volcano somewhere up north. Now, that's very suspicious. Does anything happen after? I have a feeling something's going to happen to Breglor, not just physically, but does something happen to Breglor after that volcano shook and he looked up? Let's say we're going for it. 4-4. He has a strange feeling like it's familiar to him. So I think he just has a very strange feeling like perhaps there's going to be a let me see here. Uh, there's a no, not pleasant surprise. Maybe he's surprised it's this far out. Let's see if I can figure out. Um, I wonder if this is related to the whole vision that we had earlier, the skull. Is this related to? Let's question the lore here. Is this related to the skull? It is barely. Yeah, like I said, we're very early in the campaign, so I think we're about maybe third the way through. I'd say that Breglar has a strange feeling in his head, so maybe some remnants from the vision he had earlier. His head hurts, so uh, yeah, head hurts, some pain, head hurts. Maybe he's hearing some voices, some whispers. Hears. Does he hear anything? Let's see. His head hurts. Does he hear anything? He doesn't. Doesn't really hear much. Maybe some whispers. Hears faint whispering. He's looking around like what was that? I think I'm gonna go for 5-6 on this one because it was whispers. Not if it was the opposite, like 6-3, like he definitely hears an audible voice speaking to him somehow. But his head hurts. Does he see anything? Let's see. 6-5. He sees something that is in the distance, but it's very small, very faint. It's not the mountain range, but he's looking ahead. He looks up the trail leading up to the mountains, up to the mountain range. Up, let's just say up north. Okay, up north. And I want to say it seems pretty far actually, if it's that difference. Is it a settlement of sorts? Let's roll 6-5. I'm gonna say it is because it's tied. Oh, because it's tied, it's a settlement that's small. He sees some buildings in the distance. Sees buildings, small buildings, like let's say cottages. Sees let's just say he sees a town in the distance. And for this one, we'll do a total roll. Is this the town of Bellhop? The town of Bellhop. This is a total roll. So yep, 9-1. So I like this idea now. So I'm gonna make shift this oracle to where more controllable or more minor um more situations that I want the outcomes to go in a certain direction, but still want that surprise if it happens, a rarity of a surprise. I'm going to do a total roll. So if I feel like the story needs to get moving, I'll do this total roll to really outshine the no. But if it's something that it's just an advantage roll, like I want that element surprise, but I feel like it's likely, I'll do the two and then choose the highest roll that wins. So three, obviously, no would win, even though we had an advantage. So that's the difference between the two. I think I'm going to do the total roll for the outcome based on more related to narrative. That's what I'm trying to say. So he sees a town in the distance, and we believe because it was we believe it is bellhop. Now we do have the map. We're gonna pull the map out. So pull the map out. Hold on, guys. Someone's at my door. I'll check, make sure it's. Oh, sorry, just the postman. So we pull the map out. We look where we are. We try to figure out where we are. Let's Let's roll a will check to see if we can easily make out where we are. 13 or less. Oh, yeah, 6. We can. We easily spot where we are. Find where we are. And then uh, regular using his traveling experience, he looks up in the direction of the map, can see where the mountains are, where there's some markings of land, like specific drawings on the map, and he sees that there's the only town really ahead of him is Bellhop. So he concludes that Bellhop is ahead of him, ahead up north. Okay, so Bellhop is up ahead, so he's going to start. Um, Doggo is following him, so let's roll to see. Well, now we're basically walking up north on the path, and anything change in the weather? Let's see. We'll also roll to see if the bird's following us too. How's the weather looking? It's fair. So some clouds are moving in. Okay, so weather, some clouds. Nothing really worrisome, but some clouds are moving in. It's fair. Fair conditions. Okay. And let's roll to see if that bird has the tracer has found us. So I'm gonna say we'll do an advantage roll, not total. Oh, interesting. So it's tied. I could re-roll. Perhaps the tracer is. Oh, it's on our tail. It's on our trail. It's found. So meanwhile, the tracer, essentially, controlled by the magician, whose like 24/7 job is to follow us. Tracer finds the two dead griffins from earlier. So is the tracer on the ground right now, like kind of hopping between the griffins, like a crow? Maybe the tracer can take forms of different birds. I'm going to say that. Okay, it's an on the ground level. It's not. It's kind of 5 to 4. It's kind of flying maybe uh 50, 60 feet up in the air. So the tracer is uh flying low, 50, 60 feet up, and kind of circling around the griffins. And it looks like a crow, so it can take form. Took form, not to be suspicious, basically. Took form of a crow. So it's on our tail basically. It's keeping track of where we are. So that means that the tracer is not too far off. So while we're walking up, so we're not again. I'm thinking that we're completely oblivious to the tracer. That somehow, I mean, I can retrace my steps. So I can go back in the oracle order, or we can go back in our journal here. This is why I do notes. Let's see. The misfortune bandit group is not cover up. I want to find the moment where we have the family. It's all about family. Um, Breglar accepts the offer. In the camp, most misfits return to their tents. Breglor is looking at the flag. Yeah, that's the full flag thing. Magician comes up to us, starts talking with religious content. Breglor asks for his name, Gruith, etc. Something minor happens. Okay, that's the first tremble. Growth is not surprised. He's aware of it. Okay, I think we walk away. Right. Dervish gives a task. Yep, repair treasure. Yep, we take the task, deliver it to Belinda, mercenary. Yep. He will give us some details on the items, which we already know is some. Well, we don't know what the item is exactly in the box, but we know it's some kind of force giver, life giver force to a talking skull. That's how we can easily. That's the simple decipher we can do right at the moment. Pulls out a map, shows him where to go. I don't say much about the bird that we know that Burglar knows of the bird. Um, Dervish after orders magician to track Burglar via magical bird spy. Transport this. That's all I have. And then we have the wolf encounter. So wow, I have all these notes. That's crazy. So we don't know about the bird. We don't know about the tracer. It is a hidden detail amongst the misfits themselves, about amongst Dervish and Gruith. So that is an interesting. revelation on the because I was wondering where the bird was. Like, where did he go? We rolled, we can't find it. But see, I like using this oracle because of the difference. Can kind of steer the story a little bit differently. So as we're going up, we're traveling up, we're walking up to Bellhop. Um, let's write that down. We make. I think we wrote that. We just had the quake. Okay, we head north. I'll just write that again if it's repetitive. We head north to Bellhop. I keep thinking I want to call it Bishop. All right, so while we're walking, does anything happen? Something does indeed happen. 3 to 6, that is a notable experience. So let's roll for what happens. Okay. Ooh, interesting. A medium difficulty encounter. So we encounter something to medium difficulty. Um, I already have I already have something in mind. Now, is it? Let's roll the details. So it's a medium in difficulty encounter. I'll keep that right here just so I can see it. Is it a creature? Let's do 50-50 on this one. I'll toss the dice aside. Is it a creature? It is definitely not a creature. So it is a human. It is straight up a human. Is it a okay? What's the human's what is the human's approach to us? It does say difficult, but we want to roll. What is the human? Oh yeah, I have one per encounter. What is the human's approach to us? Whoops. Uh, unaware. Oh, okay, interesting. They're unaware, and it's a human. So human encounter star. Human encounter unaware. So this person or they don't see us. Now, is it more than one person? Let's roll 50-50 for that. Oh gosh, those equal rolls do not help sometimes. I want to say it is more than one person. So let's do an advantage roll. It is more than one person. So with that difference, I'm going to say let's see, that's difference of two. Let's just say it's difference of two. It's two people. There's two people. Now, are they a threat? I'm going to say 50-50 on this one. Like, are they like bad? Are they bad guys? Like, are they bandits or, let's say, are they bandits? They are bandits. Interesting. Okay, so we ran into two bandits. Um, they're bandits. Interesting. Okay, I like that. I really, really like that. But they're unaware of us. So we're walking up the trail. We stop, and Breglor kind of grabs the dog, like kind of grabs the dog by its tail. Whoa, 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 whoa! And because the dog is just, well, I shouldn't say that. That's kind of silly. We stop. The dog is Border collies are very smart dogs. We're gonna grab its tail. That's stupid. I'm sorry. The dog stops and sits down, and we notice that like, wow, this dog is or we can just roll for it. Does the dog stop too? Um, this could cause an interesting intervention here or interesting event. Does the dog stop too when we stop? It doesn't. It kind of keeps walking a little bit, but then slows down and looks back at us. So um, we stop. The doggo, slowly stops and turns to us. Even though this was a no, it was a very weak no. So I mean that gives me the pace of the dog. So it stops, turns around, and I'm basically telling the dog to kind of come back. I'm not whistling, just doing this. Does the dog come back? Let's do a total roll on this one. Five, yep, it does. Okay, so it comes back. Dog, Sparky comes back to us. We don't want the dog to get hurt. Um, comes back to us, sits down or sits next to us. I keep saying us, but that's just from a perspective. If that works for me, I'm fine with that. In the future, I might misread that, but I'm not too worried about that too. I'm not worried about that either. So the bandits, let's say they're looting someone. Are the bandits? We'll do a total roll for this one. Are the bandits looting someone? Something. They are. So they're mugging someone right now. Oh, that's interesting. So three people. I'm gonna say we see three people. They're mugging someone. Okay, this is really intriguing. And Is this person a helpless villager, perhaps, or another merchant? There's a lot of merchants around here. Is the helpless merchant, traveling merchant? Total roll. It is. It's a help. Okay, so two bandits are mugging, as usual. That's what bandits do. Are mugging to a helpless traveling merchant. But I have a feeling this merchant could be connected to a certain supply chain of merchants. It's like an organization of merchants that travel these lands and sell. Because the fact that that last merchant we met knew the dead one with the whole key situation, which I need to, I think I still have the key on me. Do I still have the key? Whatever happened to the key? Shoot, did I add that to my inventory? We gotta retrace my steps. Again, that's why I take notes. We need to see what happened to the key because this could be a story arc for the key. So I'm not reading. Almost ride the horse. Right. Regular ass Drake. Drake holding a merchant back in the house. Oh yeah, he's carrying him. Uh, he needs it for the merchant. Stops out for some big trail creature. Stepped on the griffin's tail. Oh, that was recent. So episode 9, the talking skull. Dark vision skeleton. The key. Where is the key? I know it's here. It tells Drake of the vision. Suddenly, merchant awakens. Avatar. Yeah, this is the whole talking scene. Life ring me life. Merchant collapses. Regular asked Drake if he just saw what he saw. Floating merchant didn't hear it. Drake has the key, questions it. Regular takes the key back. Leaves. We have the key. Thank goodness I did not screw that up in the beginning. Okay. Gotta love this. This is so freaking fun. Okay, so we have the key. And I totally forgot to re-add that to my inventory. I don't see it anywhere. We have the box too. We have the key. It's just a question mark. We don't know what it is. We know it looks like a big prison key, but it's very frail looking, or it's very dull. So we see the merchant being mugged. So I'm gonna leave an end cap here. I'm gonna leave a note for myself. Merchant. Let's see, merchant. Connected story with others? Question mark. Key. So you guys can see this too. This is probably something I could do after recording, but I want to keep you guys in the loop on that one too, just so I don't forget. Key, like let's say a some kind of merchant supply system organization, like a supply chain. Just like kind of a little side plot. Nothing really. They're not bad or something. They're not bad. They're just the. It's just an organization. It's just a little job they do. So I think we're gonna stop there. We're gonna stop at the fact that the merchants. There's a merchant being mugged by two bandits. And we'll call this episode. This is episode 10, by the way, in case you guys didn't notice. And yeah, 53 minutes, so about a little less than average. Let's call this one Doggo. We'll call it Doggo. I just like saying that, Doggo. So there we go. All right, we'll call it Doggo, and we'll stop right there. So thank you guys for watching. This episode was good. I didn't use any tables, which I'm surprised. I used our dice that I have luckily ran into recently, and you can check out my 830 workshop video about how I got them. And then I'm using a kind of a blended Oracle roll system where I roll for either advantage, meaning I choose the highest roll, and that was the victorious, no matter what, or I do a total roll to push the story ahead. So this would be the total over the no. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on 830 RPG.